Hello everyone, welcome to Crafty Soup and welcome to 2026. My name is Misty. A new month and a new year means it's time to build a new scrapbooking kit. Over at the Counterfeit Kit Challenge community group, we find lovely paper inspiration from out in the real world. Then we shop our own stash and build our own paper crafty kits. We save money, find community, and enjoy the scrapbooking hobby, all as part of this totally free and fun group. It is a new month, which means it is time to put together another kit. Let me show you how I build mine. So here's our inspiration. It is the Curiosities in Willow Grove collection by Vicki Boutin and 49 and Market. And I've got this open at scrapbook.com so we can just see how many pieces are in this collection. So this is the starters paper pack, which is a very brief collection of papers if you just want a little bit of something to get you started. This is the bulk of the papers. This is the 12 by 12 pattern papers pack. Here is what they call the Staples paper pack. It has a bit of a tweed texture here, but I like this one because it gives you the whole color palette right there. What else have we got? So they have lots of embellishments. So these are the laser cut elements. You can take a look at all of the elements in here. There's arrows, there's border pieces, cameras, butterflies, banners. So here's a second pack of those. Here we're getting into the typical die cuts now, and this is a mixture of icons and titles. And you can see there's 152 pieces in one of these packs, so there's a lot of ideas to work from. This is the journaling bit set. This is the foiled die cut assortment, which also has vellum in there, and I really like that look, so I want to make some of these, and I might even pull out my hot foil machine and try some foiling on vellum. What else have we got? These are cardstock stickers, so I'm loving this jar motif along with other things that I've already mentioned. Here is the chipboard bits, which are all of her phrases. So let's keep looking. Rub-ons. So I don't use a lot of rub-ons, but I do have some in my stash, so we can think about that. More rub-ons. These are definitely more mixed media. All right, I will go ahead and make my list and then come back and show you what I have pulled. All right, I have got my list here, and if you would like a downloadable version of this, let me know, because I could totally clean this up and make it a freebie on my blog. And I've been using this list for quite a while, and I just now realized that maybe you guys might like it too. So let me know, and I'll see if I can get that to you. Now, I do have lots of notes on my list about things that maybe I want to make myself, colors, patterns, certain ephemera that I want to use. So all of that I keep on my list. I always start with my pattern papers, and I like to keep a picture up of the pattern papers while I'm pulling so that the vibes can come through. So the first thing I wanted was some stripes, and this particular one not only has flowers, but it has some mixed media vibes and some of the colors. Now this stripe is a little bit of a different color palette, but it goes very well with this bold floral that I pulled for some of the brighter pops of color and also the darker navy that I'm noticing in the kit. This one has a little bit more orange side to it than some of the other papers I have, but again, I like the really mixed media vibe, and it reminds me of Vicki Boutin, even though it's a bow bunny, because Vicki Boutin really loves her circles. Now this mixed media paper was something I made myself quite a while back for another counterfeit kit, and I never used it, so it is making a reappearance in this kit. This paper is my version of the fern print, and what I pulled from that was not only the graphic but the black, and that's going to keep going with these next two prints. And again, I pulled this one in circles. It's a simple story, so it has a little bit of a vintagey grunge to it, and that totally reminds me of Vicki Boutin because of her love of circles, and I love circles as well, so it's a good match. All right, and then I wanted to go with some calmer, quote-unquote, solids. Those first two have a bit of a text print to them. This piece has a very subtle grid, tone-on-tone grid, and then these two are even more subtle tone-on-tone grids. But I really like, again, we've got that circle going on, and then the next one is a basic grid, and because I want to do some mixed media, I want these papers to be a good foundation for that. And then these two have a bit of a grunge, kind of a mixed media start to them, so those will work well. And here is an overview look at all of those papers before we move on to embellishments. Speaking of which, I am going to start off the embellishments with things that I can use for either mixed media or for creating my own elements. So I'm going to have stamps and dies. I've got those mushrooms are rub-ons, and there's a few other pieces in there that will work great for mixed media. And then some jars and mixed media stamps, including a text stamp. And then I've got my alphabets. Moving on to pre-made embellishments, I did find in my Vicki Boutin stash plenty of things. I don't need to buy any more Vicki Boutin. I've got enough to last me quite a while. And I found not only things with gold accents, but the vellum with gold accents, so I won't have to make those myself. Lots of chipboard pieces with various icons on them, including the cameras. And there was even a piece of thistle. We've got the magnifying glass. I found some word stickers that go with the idea of her word chipboard. And then just some more icons here in this die cut pack, and another paper pad in a smaller size that has some of those circles that I mentioned already and some other elements. And then more words, but instead of being chipboard, these ones are puffy. I know she doesn't do puffy anymore. And then I'm starting to mix in other brands. So I pulled in some American Crafts. I've got some other 49 in Market. And then all together, that makes up the bulk of my pre-made embellishments. Don't forget that I always make some of my own embellishments on the 4th. If you come back then, you will get the lowdown and tips and tricks on how to create all the things you see in this little sneak peek. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something useful out of this video. And if you did, tell me what it is that you like so I can bring you more of that in 2026. And if you have some critiques, let me know that too so I can make these videos more efficient for you. Until I'm back with another video, I hope you have an artful day.